Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we have a very drastic transformation. This little pony you can see here is probably a Starshine, Generation 1, My Little Pony Starshine, released during year 2, so that's 1983 to 84, and it looks like it was going to be a custom, but I adopted it as part of a large bait bundle that I got from eBay. Bait in the pony collecting world means a pony that either needs heavy restoration or is ready to move on to become something else, and that's what we're going to do today. We are going to turn this former Starshine into a new horse from a different toy line, also from the 80s. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is actually remove this blue paint and any leftovers from the original pony. I feel really sorry doing this, especially the eyes, but we have to do it if we want to start fresh. And the best way to do this, in my experience, is to use pure acetone, or you can also use nail polish remover as long as it has acetone in it. You just have to be careful, especially with a project as large as this. Like, we will have to use a lot of acetone, which means the windows should be open, it should be a well ventilated area, you shouldn't be breathing the fumes of the acetone. No good. I learned this doing, I think, my second or third pony. And I guess it's just a good practice in general to always work in well ventilated areas. Use a mask if you can, and gloves, even though in this case they didn't do anything because, yeah, my nails as usual are not very good, especially by the end of this. Anyway, rambling. Now, I am very excited to tell you about this project and why I am doing it, but before we do that, very quickly, I will tell you about the pony we are using as a base, as a way to honor its memory. So Starshine was a pony released during year 2, as part of the Rainbow Pony set. It is in the Firefly pose. It has had a white body. It will still have a white body when we're finished. And the hair color, which is going to change, was originally pink, yellow, green, and blue. In the US version, the symbol was glittery. That's why we can see this rust left over from the original cutie mark. And I really like the backcard story about this pony. You can find it in the description. But basically, Starshine is able to fly through like the galaxy as a shooting star. And yeah, I think that's beautiful. And no surprise, because of the colors and the story, this became one of like people's children's favorite My Little Ponies. In part, the inspiration for the custom we're going to do today is actually the variants that Starshine has. As you might know, ponies were created in different countries and sometimes look different from the US or Hong Kong versions. And if we look at the Brazilian variant, we will kind of see where we're going with this pony. But now that we have kind of covered Starshine, let's talk about the custom we're going to be making today. And the variants are very interesting to me. It's something I really enjoyed researching, and I'm actually working on a book that I think you might like that has all the ponies ever made anywhere and everywhere. But since we are actually not restoring this Starshine, I feel bad talking more about it. Let's talk about the new custom. Do you remember, or have you ever heard of Rainbow Brite? Warning, the head is coming off eventually. I like that noise. Rainbow Brite first aired as a television series or cartoon in 1984. The same year, Hallmark, which was the owner of the cartoon, gave the rights to Mattel for a range of dolls and merchandise, and it was quite a success because then they made a movie, they made more dolls and more toys, activity books, storybooks. And just like with the ponies, there were also companies in other countries that were doing Rainbow Brite dolls. For example, in Brazil, Estrela, the same company that did the ponies, did the dolls. Which means that Rainbow Brite was quite popular in Latin America, where I am from. And I'm not sure if I saw the cartoon or if I read this somewhere. Not sure how I absorbed it, but in some way it made it to my young brain. And I took it very seriously because I remember I was learning to write well. Like, I always loved reading and writing from very young, but I had never started writing things like fictional things. I don't know how to explain it. So I remember one day being in school and the teacher said, okay, now it's like free write whatever you want, write a short story or something. And apparently, I don't remember this exactly, but apparently I wrote non-stop for like the whole 2 hours, and I filled in pages and pages of a story. And this story was actually well, very similar to Rainbow Brite. I plagiarized Rainbow Brite basically. But the teacher was like telling my mom like, I think your girl likes to write. You should look into that and see. Yeah, she's definitely passionate about this. And the reason I mentioned this also is because I had some very particular hobbies. I would say I wasn't not sociable, but I was very, very shy, and some of my favorite activities was just sitting on my own, counting numbers and imagining things. And suddenly I realized that I could actually create stories using writing. And from then on I wrote the whole of like primary school. When I couldn't like pay attention in class, sometimes I'll just write, doodle or write. And I will actually write these super elaborate stories where I used all the like the kids in my class, but I didn't talk to them. I just wrote about them, like made cool characters for them. I wasn't mean. There will be things like, oh, we're in a spaceship and we're going to like space and we have this challenge and how would everyone like react and do things. Anyway, Rainbow Brite. The story of Rainbow Brite, the one I plagiarized without wanting to, is as follows. I will actually read this from the Wikipedia and add commentary here and there. A young girl named Wisp is brought to a great desolate land with the mission to bring color to this fictional world by locating the sphere of light. She finds some friends and then locates the legendary color belt and rescues the 7 color kids who had been trapped by the King of Shadows. And using the color belt, Wisp and the sphere of light and the new furry creature called a sprite defeat the King of Shadows, liberate the sprites and bring color and beauty to the land. Henceforth called Rainbow Land. In my story, the characters were actually little gnomes, but the principle was similar. And because this was the first time I was writing, the story was basically, and then they found the yellow gnome, and the yellow gnome painted the trees, and painted the sun, and painted blah blah blah. And then they found the red gnome, and the red gnome painted blah, blah, and so on. I don't actually have this story anymore. This is one of the books that got lost, but I do have other stories, lots of stories. I wrote those. I had like a period of space stories, lots of them, and some monsters and love stories. There was always a little bit of romance, finding someone that understood me. The ability to imagine the things and to be able to put them on paper, I think, I don't know, it's such a blessing, right? Imagination is such a blessing. I still spend so much time thinking. I don't write as much. I haven't written in a long time. I also had a period of writing poetry when I was at university. I looked at some of them. They're not too terrible, I would say. I don't know. They were interesting for the time, but they're all in Spanish. I have never actually written a poem in English. I am, again, going into a tangent. I did write a sci-fi novel that I need to clean up, and I am writing a fantasy thing in my brain that I know I am so off topic here, but I need to finish this idea now. I want to turn my fantasy story into a 40k, a Warhammer 40k or 30k story, because I want to be a Warhammer writer and bring more female voices into the universe. I still know. Now back to the custom. This is a horse. This pony reminded me of a horse that appears in Rainbow Brite, and it's called Starlite. Light, L-I-T-E. And I remember the colors of the horse, and that was the main reason why I wanted to do this custom. The horse is white and it has a rainbow mane and tail. But then I was checking some information to tell you a little bit more about this character, and I came across like the first thing it's that the fandom, the Rainbow Brite wiki says is Starlite is Rainbow Brite's loyal and egotistical horse. I thought, oh, hang on, egotistical. And my English is not perfect, but I know that egotistical is not a good thing. So I kept reading, and it says that Starlite actually thinks he is the most magnificent horse in the universe. Don't we all need some of that Starlite confidence? And oh my god, I'm discovering so much about this horse that I just remembered as a white horse with rainbow hair. But apparently, not only has he a mane of many colors, but also an impressive vocabulary. And I mean, if you're going to be magnificent, I think colors and vocabulary are great things to have. And there is a little story that came in the booklet, because the horsey came with the booklet. It was like a plush horsey. And I will read it to you, but I will shorten it because it's a bit long. Although before I do that, I want to mention something about the video, about this part of the video. As you can see, painting eyes is really difficult, really difficult. And usually when you start, it looks terrible. It doesn't always work out, and that is normal. We are all learning, but I think the important thing is to just keep going and repair the things. Like, for example, if you paint first the black part of the eye, then when it dries you can go over with some white in this case and fix the mistakes. Just, you can redo things over and over and over. So don't be discouraged if you are painting and it doesn't look perfect. These are very tiny details. And even if you are unhappy with what you did one day, you can wait and try again the next day. So yeah, just keep trying. It doesn't matter. You can redo it. I thought I should mention this because I'm always so unhappy with my painting, and then I try to like rework a little bit, and in the end I'm kind of okay with it. And the mistakes and the asymmetry is what makes each of these projects special. It's not about being perfect, just about enjoying what you're doing, right? Anyway, back to Starlite's story. I'm sorry, all over the place today again. Let's go to the short version of this story. So, Starlite was excited. He was finally going to see Rainbow Brite. Wanting to look his best, he asked the color kids for help. They groomed him until he shone, weaving star sprinkles into his mane and tail. But Murky Dismal had other plans. As Starlite galloped down the rainbow trail, Murky tricked him into falling into a mud puddle. Covered in muck, Starlite was heartbroken, convinced Rainbow Brite wouldn't love him anymore. The color kids cleaned him up and urged him to go see her anyway, but he ran off to hide in Rainbow Forest. When Rainbow Brite returned, she searched for him and reassured him with a hug, saying, "What you look like doesn't matter. I will always love you for the beauty in your heart." And that is the short version of the story. You can read the full one also in the description, there's a link. If you can, please let me know if you like when I include these stories, if you like more of them or less of them, because I'm not sure. And in terms of the video, I decided that all my customs from now on will actually have 2 little white dots in the eyes. That will be my signature eye mark. Alright, so it's time to paint the symbols for Starlite, and I went through a few different ideas. I have seen a custom that someone made, I don't remember the name, but it was one of the sprites, so the little fluffy friends, and it looked amazing, but I don't think I can be that precise when painting. So instead, I was thinking what we could do is some simple stars. But there is a reasoning behind this simple choice, and it's because, as I mentioned, the color kids are the ones in charge of like each color, and what they do, the way they do this is they mine some crystals, color crystals from the color caves. Everything has color in the name, and these crystals are then processed into star sprinkles, which are components that then help them brighten and color any object or place. So there are stars in the story. Therefore, the symbol is there's some stars. I try to be organized. I am a very chaotic person, as you know. So I tried to do the first star in pencil. Then I had to do so many layers to get rid of the pencil marks, and the star was not centered because I did it with the hairline and the hairline was not centered. So then I just improvised the rest of the stars. So they look really chaotic. But such is life. What is the opposite of aspirational? My videos are not aspirational. They are inspirational in terms of, you know, you can do better than me. And since I brought this up, and I'm so bad at self-advertising, I just want to remind you that if you want any supplies for fixing your own ponies, if you need hair, rerooting tools, tinsel, and things like that, then you can visit my Etsy shop. I send the things to any country in the world, and I also regularly upload ponies that need restoration or ponies that you can use for customizing, and patrons get discounts like 50%, 25% or 40%, and stickers and freebies. So thank you for your attention. Okay, I think I have spoken enough. I'll leave you with some music now. I just want to say a couple of things about the materials I will be using. I had to mix 2 types of hair, acrylic and nylon. Nylon is very thin, very silky, and kind of easy to shape. Acrylic is a bit thicker and harder, but it also tends to have like brighter colors. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Please let me know if you want what you thought about this one, what you would have done differently, or any ideas, and any ideas for future videos too. And I will see you for the channel art and the results. Today we have two incredible pieces of art that were shared on the Discord. We have this beautiful little pineapple inspired by the last video, and this gorgeous wisteria pony in flutter pony version. If you like art, please join us on Discord. There are some incredible artists there and collectors. Thank you so much to all the patrons. I'm adding benefits as I'm saying this, so thank you for supporting me and stick around because there will be more things coming soon. And a special, very special shout out to the VIP ponies. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at the results of today's video. This is what our little pony looked like before. We had some stickiness and some hairy situation. And this is what it looks like now. The hair is a bit unruly, I would say. We had a bit of a hair situation. This is because I used acrylic hair and nylon hair. Acrylic needs more time to dry and it needs boiling water, and I just wanted to release this video today, so I'm so sorry it doesn't look great. I hope though that the idea comes across, that this is a rainbow Brite pony or a Starlite pony that maybe fell into this world where things are not as magnificent, but where we certainly appreciate the color and the potential vocabulary of this pony that hasn't said a word yet, but I'm sure has amazing thoughts. What? These are strange days. I'll tell you more about it in the next video maybe. But thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned some things or enjoyed the process, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye!